Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to make an entrance similar to the one I have built here for the Lumberjack Trail wooden roller coaster. In order to do this, we need to do some shoestringing to allow for this train to sit stationary on this curved piece of downhill track. So I'm going to open up a blank park here, and we'll show you how to do this. So first off, what I like to do, because this shoestringing I like to typically keep hidden and out of view from the rest of my park, what I do is lower the ground level at first to build this section. I'm just going to lower it like that. Now what I want to do is build a wooden roller coaster. We'll start by building a station underground. I start by going 3 units high, building a small section of station and putting an entrance and exit. Now in order to do this, we're going to need to enable some cheats first. So we'll go to our cheat menu and we're going to allow chain lifts on all track pieces. We need to show all operating modes, unlock the operating limits, and we'd like to allow arbitrary ride type changes. So we'll close the menu at this point. Now we also need to set this into a powered launch mode. So in order to do that, we'll go to our settings for the coaster and change to powered launch. And we'll start by setting this to 6 kilometers per hour. So at this point, we're going to build a straight piece of track and a small hill. Now, in order to break off the first train, we're going to delete this section and drop it underneath. So what this does is it allows the first piece of train to break off and drop underneath. We also need to merge this piece of track. So I will put the merge piece back in and make sure that it's flashing to show that it is merged. So now let's see how this works and just make sure everything's good. So we'll push test mode here. The first train should go up the slope a bit. And at this point it should drop underneath perfectly. So we'll just pause that and we'll go back into editing. So now what we need to do is the back half of the train is going to continue along this track as the front portion moves this way. So what we need to do is reverse the train again so that it is moving in a forward direction. So we will go to this section here, add a couple straight segments, and then another hill. This hill will slow the train down and reverse its direction. The other portion we need to put onto another section of track. So in order to do that, we'll break out a piece and we're going to put in an S-bend, building in the reverse direction, and then a straight segment of track. Now for this piece, we're just going to merge it again. Again, it's flashing to show that it is merged correctly. And what we can see is that the S-bend piece is on top as it is the piece being drawn, which you can also confirm within your tile inspector by selecting that piece, ensuring that it is on the bottom. Again, make sure that the straight piece is on top so that the train passes through and then reverses back on the S-bend portion. So again, let's put this into test mode and see how it works. So we can see that the train passes through the S-bend section and goes up the small hill here. At this point it will reverse direction and travels onto the S-bend section. And here the train will slow down and reverse direction. So now what we need to do is get it onto another piece of track. So again, we're going to go into here, delete a portion, move forward, and put a curve in. And then we need to remerge this piece of track with another straight section, like so. Now for the back end portion of the train, what we need to do is the same thing. So we need to break it off onto another section of track, like so. We'll put in a curve section. And then what we need to do is merge that again so that we get flashing, showing or indicating that we have it merged. And now let's build this into the position we would like to see for our entrance. So I'm going to build it up on top of the hill here. And what I would like to see is the train in a downhill position on a curved piece of slope. So I'm going to go like that, there. So ideally my train will be sitting in this portion of the track. Now we need to get that train into that position. So in order to do this, we're going to go to the track for our front section of the train. We're going to put it on a straight piece with a chain lift. And what this chain lift will do is drag the entire train along the track until we get it into the correct position. So in order to do this, we're just going to build a straight piece of track here. Now, at this point, we need to create a second wooden roller coaster. So this creates a new station that the train is going to sit in. So we're going to go to our new coasters menu here. We're going to select wooden roller coaster and build new design. So what I want to do is grab a chain link piece and I'm going to position it right here. And then I'm going to build it around and I'm going to estimate roughly where I need to build the station. So we'll start by positioning there and see kind of where we end up positioning the end of the train. First, we do need to merge these two roller coasters together. So in order to do that, we're going to merge it. And again, we get the flashing indicator showing it's merged. It's perfect. Now, in order to do this, we need to leave our second wooden roller coaster in a closed position. So at this point, we can close that menu. And we're going to go to our first wooden roller coaster and we're going to put it into test mode. So I'm just going to speed it up here a bit just to move things along. So the first train breaks apart. We'll come around and we'll change directions on this piece of track. And now at this point, it's going to go into the change section. So it picks up speed due to the back end going down this slope. But here we can see that the chain link is dragging the back end of the train up the hill. Now hopefully we have this positioned at the right spacing so that the train stops in the correct position. But as we can see, it doesn't. And because this was still in test mode, it actually goes through the station and drops. So now that we know that it's not in the correct position, we're going to delete. And this is a little bit of trial and error until you get the right position. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to estimate about this location here. Put my entrance and exit in. Close that. And now at this point I am going to put it into test mode again. And what I like to do at this point is typically close the ride again, and that way it won't go through the other station. So again, we're just going to speed this up a bit. Okay, and now let's see where we are. So there we can see that we've gone one space too far. At this point we're going to just edit this coaster again. And we'll build it one piece further back. Again, we close the train so that it doesn't go through the station. And at this point, we'll really speed things up. So we should ideally get the train to stop somewhere in this section here. Perfect. So now what we can do is we'd like to hide all of our stations. So we're going to turn off our entrances. And we're also going to set the ride into a crooked house view. So as you can see, we still see the front end of the car underground. Now as for the other piece, what we're going to do is, because we would like to hide all of this track, we're going to create another wooden roller coaster. And this will be our curve piece for our station. So I'm going to start by going here. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to copy that section of track that I would like to use for my station. Like so. Now what I can do is change my first wooden roller coaster, put it into a crooked house style. As you can see, I'd like to put it into a different color just to show our coaster a bit better. There. And in order to change the color of the train, we must enable the cheat. Enable all track pieces. Oh, sorry. Sorry, we must, in order to change the color, we first have to switch it back to a wooden roller coaster. We'll go to colors, and let's go with something like a yellow. Maybe a red interior with black, like so. Okay, and then we can switch that back to our crooked house. Okay, we also notice that our entrances are still showing, so we will turn those to no entrance. There, at that point we can re-raise our ground. And there you have it. At this point you can now add a nice little entrance here. What I'm going to do is, depending on where you've got your position or entrance positioned, just raise this up a bit like that, and put in some footpaths here and a nice little entrance in. And then maybe you've got some gardens here. And we'll throw in a small fence as well. And what we can do is lower the fence here. There you have it. And that's how you put a stationary train onto a downhill section of curved track for an entrance. Thanks, and have a good day.